Okay. Good morning, everyone. This is Kathy Mason from MasonWorks Marketing here on Conscious Business Zone with Martin McNicholl. Hi, Martin. How are you?
Hi, Kathy. Namaste. Welcome. Thank you for having me.
Oh, I'm so excited. So Martin, I want to learn all about your gifts because I think you're an incredibly gifted young man, and I want to find out what led you on this path. You're now living in Portugal. You grew up in Ireland, and so how did you? I know you're a special being and that you have incredible resources, more than a lot of the people in the world. So how did that come about? Did you know from a little boy that you had superpowers?
Absolutely not. No, not at all. I led a very closed consciousness, sheltered life for the majority of this lifetime. I'm 40 years old, and I didn't leave Ireland until I was 28. And that was the beginning of my consciousness opening up. So I was the early 80s. I grew up in Northern Ireland, so there was a lot of the Troubles and what's known as the Troubles there now. And I grew up through that, and I was very much closed-minded, closed consciousness, didn't really know much about anything. I rebelled against religion very strongly because of the kind of so the word God was a dirty word to me, and I ran as far away as I could from that around my teenage years. And then I had a 20-year love-hate relationship with substances, addictions. So I had a long journey with alcohol, drugs, and everything that went along with that. At the time, I thought I was just doing what you do when you're a young Irish man, and you can be a little bit self-conscious, a little bit socially inept, a lot of those things. And it was just a done thing, and it was curious. But there was always an emptiness. There was always a sadness. There was always something missing, no matter what I did, no matter how high I got, no matter how drunk I got, no matter what relationship I got in, no matter how much money I had, no matter what the job was, there was always something missing. So the search or the shift became a painful one, to be honest, and it came in stages, and usually it was with hitting rock bottom. It's usually with a physical ailment, getting sick. So I had several issues, lots of physical issues, but it came to a turning point around 2010 where I thought I could escape all my problems. Well, it was 2008. I thought I can escape all my problems by going to some sunny country at the other side of the world. So I moved to Australia, and I thought, I thought everything's going to be better there. And I know this was the beginning of my transformation, but I went through a couple of years of really, to be honest, get myself. I nearly was done. I was nearly finished here because, growing up in Ireland, there's not much sunshine. There's not much anything there. So whenever we see sunshine, it's like we're on holidays. So when I moved to Australia, I was on holidays every day. So which meant for me, I was drinking every day, and that came to a point where my liver packed in. I ended up in hospital, both in Australia and New Zealand, and after coming back from Fiji. And I just realized it's exactly 10 years ago now. So it was 2010, because I saw a picture on my Facebook today of a little Fijian island that I was going to. So it's exactly 10 years ago now where it happened, where my liver just completely, and ended up in hospital. And then that began a journey, firstly physically. Okay, I'll fix my body, got healthy, got fit. But still had all the same problems. And then I realized, okay, it's not just my body. Okay, it's my mind, it's my thinking, it's my beliefs. So I started getting into personal development and all of that sort of stuff. And then I got quite quickly, things were happening well, but then my relationships, I could see I still was unhappy. There were still lots of things just were not working, and my life was just failed relationship after failed relationship, and still that emptiness. So I fixed my body, I fixed my mind. There's something else missing. So the last key was, of course, spirituality, which I completely resisted and resisted and resisted. But um, one key turning moment, I know it's for a lot of people, was a beautiful angel in the UK. I was actually living in the UK at this time, and she gave me two gifts that actually completely changed my life. One was The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, and the second was a video by Abraham Hicks.
Oh,
So,
perfect.
um,
That'll
so
do it.
the book, the Power of Now, I read the first chapter of The Power of Now. Well, not even the first chapter, maybe page 2. I don't even know what I read, but I read the words, and I always get as emotional every time I talk about this. I still don't even know what it was, but my whole body basically went on fire. I didn't understand what I was reading, but it felt like I was plugged in for the first time in my life.
Wonderful.
And that changed everything. That changed everything. So I was still massively skeptical about Abraham Hicks and especially anything otherworldly. It was a step just to get into, consciousness, meditation, that sort of thing. But then a complete 180 turn on that as well. The video, I always remember the video that she shared with me. It was called The Missing Piece, and it's Abraham talking to this Irish guy, and he's got a hat, and he's
Oh,
covering his head, and it's like, and he's debating Abraham about all the pain and suffering in the world and all that, and he's actually very articulate and amazing, and I agreed 100% with everything that he said, and within the matter of a month or something, everything shifted, and I completely, everything that Abraham said just made sense. And then it was just so fast. Then everything just came, and connection, channeling, breath work, plant medicine, just so many things happened one after the other synchronistically. And
yeah.
then I literally don't recognize, like from day to day, I wouldn't recognize the person that I am. I went through a stage where literally with the breath work, one day I didn't know anything about breathwork. The next day I woke up and I had this full modality with shamanic work, with body work, with essential oils, and this journey and the music, everything. It just came in one packet. And then
You
it kept
did
happening.
burn off something. You burned off your resistance to being who you really are.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And so
Wow.
that multidimensional journey was only really started in like 5 years ago. But it's been like that. It's gone like that. And so, yeah, and then I just every day is kind of like that now. It's just continuous.
That's great. So you help people. That's one of the reasons I think you're such a valuable resource for people, is that there's lots of people are waking up. This photonic energy that's hitting the Earth, hitting the whole solar system, because of the Earth's location and our solar system's location in the universe right now. Everyone is becoming more empathic. Everyone's superpowers are waking up, but they really need someone like you to help them bridge from that previous reality, which is why I think you had to have those painful experiences, is so that you'd have the compassion and the capability to help someone transcend that victimization. Because basically that's what it is. It's from victimization to Godhead, right?
Absolutely, 100%. You've said it word for word, and yeah, that's exactly what it is, and that's exactly how I see it. It's definitely not how I always seen it, but that's absolutely what I know to be true now. And I know my journey is to be very raw and real and authentic, and not leave anything out. So I don't pass out. I just share everything. Whatever's coming in the moment, I just share. So that's been part of my journey. So, and it's such a blessing. Sometimes
Yes.
I'll cry. Sometimes I'll cry because there's still like there's emotion, and that's beautiful as well. So yeah, but that's what it is to be a bridge and to be relatable. Because I turn up some days, I say I go from God to gutter in an instant, and that still happens, and I show up like that. So yeah,
Everyone does. Everyone does. So Xana said, Martin, love your authentic soul with a big heart. So yeah, I think that's been a lot of the opportunity that you're giving people is to see what it's like to be real and not to be afraid of it. God to
Yeah.
gutter, she wrote too. She liked that too. So you are a parent,
Yes.
and we're all going through this amazing change, and I think the species is upgrading. Some of us, I'm older than you, so some of us are physically upgrading our bodies. And I mean, I'm getting like packages of downloads, and they don't unpack right away. I mean, there's so much coming in that it's sort of like, well, okay, I'll just wait till it unpacks, rather than you're lucky you're getting something and you get something.
Yeah.
I get a batch. Anyway,
Yeah, I would like to just say something about that, because that example that I give, it's not always like that. Like right now at the moment, it's not like that for me, I'm sure, because I'm in this kind of period where there's so much of flux and there's so many potential. So it's not always like that. So it's good point that you say that.
yeah.
That was just like wow. And it kind of spoiled me in a way, because, or well, not spoiled me, give me an expectation that that's how it always goes. And as you just said, it's not always that way, and for good reason.
Right. Well, what I used to say is like, hey, could you guys talk slower? Because I'd get this, and then it was like, oh well, I can't get them to talk slower. And then I'm realizing, oh, I got even more by whatever that was. So, uh, and we just have to trust. We have to trust that our soul knows what's going on. Our connection to source knows what's going on. We're here to be in service, and who knows what else is going to happen. But I
Okay.
want to go back to I'm a grandma, and you're a dad, and I wanted to talk about the kids, because I'm really trying to have people understand what a gift it is that we're here and what we're experiencing right now, even though there's difficulties. That was, I think, designed. I think that was part of the design of everything. But
Mm.
but what are you seeing with your you have a son or
Yeah.
daughter? A son. Okay.
A son. Yeah,
And
I
how
love.
old?
He's 2 years old.
Oh,
Just turned 2 years old.
oh, darling,
Yeah.
darling.
I want to tell you something. So he's telepathically been communicating with us since before his conception, and he gave me a message for this show. This is
Oh, you
amazing.
did
Yeah,
good.
specifically. So we were out today before a couple of hours ago. He gives me stuff continuously, and I'll tell you, again, authenticity is mostly telling me all of the stuff that I'm still messing up on, which is a lot. But he gave me some. We were out walking. There's loads of olive trees around here, and we were out underneath this olive tree, and he was picking olives off the tree. They're not ready yet, but he's just like doing it. But so as this is the conscious business zone, he showed me something, and he gave this to me. I wasn't thinking about it. We were just walking along, and he showed me this image, and I should have got something where but I'll try to describe it in words. So he showed me the word business. And then so it's BUIS. So then he made the U and the IS bigger. So U and S is us, and the I in the middle. And
That's right.
business is the I that brings us together.
Perfect. Yep.
So the I, the business, the person, we're all in business of some form, is what brings us together with the things we need, the things we want, the things we desire. So he gave me this. And then he's off playing with the olives again. So
That's
yeah.
cool.
He gave us his name. He told us his name when he was, I can't remember, 5 days old, something like that. He named himself. We hadn't got the name, and independently verified with his mother and me, because I'm still very skeptical about everything. It was independently. Just incredible. So connected, so telepathic, and I'm not going to say it's easy. There's a lot of challenges with it as well. It's because he reflects, like I said, he is so pure. He reflects and shows to me a lot of the things that I still have to work on. There's no
Yeah.
other way to say it, and that continues. So yeah, but beautiful, absolutely
Great.
beautiful.
That's so great. And you know, of course, that you all planned this before. So it's like, okay, I signed up. It must be a really cool ride, whatever we're doing.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my God. It's good. We need to remember that often because sometimes we forget. I know I do.
Well, the thing is we take ourselves so seriously. I
Yeah,
mean, the joy is what where that has all the fun in it, right? The joy is what you're here to co-create with the universe, and co-creating with sadness is not going to get you where you want to go. Co-creating with joy and kindness and all of those things. So
yeah.
okay, so I just wanted to know about the children, because I'm just getting this sense that the children are just they're definitely our teachers if we
Oh,
are open to it. And
completely.
they're if we focus on that, then all of this will turn faster, because we're in a time of reconstruction. I mean, this is a dissolution of, I call it the Dark Ages,
Hmm.
and we're going to the Renaissance. And so the Renaissance, everyone's a patron of everyone else, and it's all you're living in your co-creative mind and body. So
Absolutely.
so
You said something about the joy. You said something about the joy. I'll tell you another thing that he said to me one time. So I would take him out for walks and I would do lots of live videos. And, so many times I would have him on my daddy whim, I called it, like the rap. And I
uh,
would do live videos. And it's beautiful and it's fun. And then, but one day, I knew he wanted me to go out. So we went out and we were having so much fun. And I wanted to do the video. I wanted to do a live video and we would do something. And he said to me very clear, very loud, I want you to play with me, not make a play of me. And I was
oh,
like, oh my God. Like it's that clear and it's really direct. And it's like, okay, the phone is off. Yeah. So those sorts of things happen all the time. But it's yeah, play, joy, have fun. Don't take yourself too
right.
seriously.
Well,
Yeah.
that's the embodiment, right? I mean, we forgot. We thought that, I mean, if you look at the historical society training, it's all been be good and be scared, because there's a scary God that if you don't do everything right, it's going to kill everybody. That's the Old Testament.
Yeah.
And it's going to kill everybody. And then maybe if you do everything right, you can go to heaven after you leave this place. Well, that's like totally backward. It's
Yeah.
totally backward. So and the kids know that they as long as they're not in a programmed reality,
Of
they
course.
know
Yeah.
that. It sounds like your child is a
Yeah,
guru.
he is completely out of the program. He was born in our bedroom, natural birth.
Wow.
Like that. He's completely out of the program. It's been designed like that from the start. So none of that. And we're always planning to homeschool. Well, he's homeschooling us. But we always plan that. I know it's getting more popular now because of the circumstances. But
Yeah.
yeah, he's completely out of that. And
That's
well,
so
that's not true because we're his parents. We will still be passing on unconscious programming that, even as conscious and aware as we are, that we have agreements to play out.
uh-huh.
So, but as far as the outward stuff, yeah, clear.
Okay, so I tagged Brian Luke Seward, who's a friend of mine, Luke, and he said,
Yeah,
"Hey Martin, it's the White Wolf from Boulder. Love your message, love your passion, love your energy."
thank
How about
you,
that,
thank you, brother.
Luke? Well, okay, so Martin, I want to talk a little bit about the divine masculine, because I think that's been a lot of the theme that I've seen in the past 2 years, not just now, but it's been working up to this, where even, especially women like me that have been in business, I've had to use a lot of masculine to
Yeah,
be able to survive.
mhm,
And I need to realign as much as a man does. It's not, I mean, the conditioning is the all of society. It's not just one
absolutely.
gender. So I watched a little bit of you and Todd Medina talking about the divine masculine and about your experiences. And could you share a little bit about that for us? Because I think, as I said, I don't think it's a gender discussion. I think it's a essence discussion.
Yes. Beautiful. I love it. Like exactly what you shared. That's exactly the way I feel it and see it. It's not a gender based. And like you said, it's the unbalanced masculine energy, of course, the majority has been in men, but that has been in female form as well. It's an imbalance of that energy. And what the divine masculine energy within uh, women and men is the flexible form that allows creation to manifest. So the divine feminine is the source. It's that which creativity, the wildness, the pure essence. But that pure essence doesn't have can't have form. It's like the river without its banks. It's like, you know, in this reality, we need something that has form for manifestation. But what the unbalanced or the unawakened masculine, whatever term we want to use, it was rigid and it was controlling and it was manipulative. It was steering and it was dominating. And what the divine masculine is, it still has structure. So this is going to be a challenge for a lot of people, and it is for men and women. There's still structure because there is freedom in structure, whereas the river without its banks is a flood, so it doesn't have structure and it doesn't get back to the sea in the way that it can. It still has structure, but it's malleable. It's not rigid. So it's like the river flowing down and guiding that water back, and it's not stuck, it's not fixed. It will allow the divine feminine its full expression and its full form without any limitation, and allows it to mold and move with that. So that's a very simplified version of big picture of it. There's so many nuances that you could talk about, but I feel like that energy and that essence is what is arising within, as the divine feminine is arising within all. But it's the new earth human is this balance. It's this balance. It's not like we're going to a matriarchy and a patriarchy and a matriarchy like what has happened before. It's,
Right.
it's we're coming into this balance, and at times that feminine energy will come forward when it's prevalent, and at times the masculine energy will come forward. But it's a dance. It's not like the pyramid or this hierarchy. It's like a perfect flow in what is needed. So I feel we're all in this process of balancing the divine masculine and feminine energies within ourselves, and to whatever choice of incarnation we've took, there will be different journeys for each. But I feel we're all on that journey, and I feel we can see it in men and women, and we can be inspired and learn from men and women for both feminine and masculine divine qualities. So yeah, it's an interesting time. It's a beautiful time. It's a challenging time, because some of those energies, like, it's very subtle. Like, you still have form, you still have structure, but I know myself, I rebel against structure because of the dominating. So then the first signs of structure, the first signs of something that might be holding me back in some way, is we reject it or go against it. So again, it's a subtle thing to realize that this structure is what allows. It's a malleable structure.
Right.
So that's the challenge I feel for a lot of us.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So I almost see it like a computer program where you have Windows or you have Mac OS, and we're in this OS that's outdated and being upgraded, and we still have our foot in one side of it
Yeah,
because we haven't jumped into this new construct, but yet all the new programs are based on this new OS, the
absolutely.
new application, the new platform, which means that everyone's divinity is honored and utilized, because there isn't anyone here. I mean, almost 8 billion people stood in line to get bodies to be here right now. to help, right? So,
And there was many more that didn't get here yet.
oh, they're in
We
their
would love
kids around here.
to,
We're eating popcorn, you know.
yeah.
So how do you have a program called InnerVersity,
Yes.
which I love that name and I love the concept of it. Could you talk a little bit about that for us? Because I think that could help my audience a lot.
Sure. So, give a little bit of backstory on the 1st of January 2019. Well, sorry, the 31st of December 2018.
Okay.
Again, this was an overnight thing. I
Oh,
thought I was doing something coming into 2019. I'm not quite sure what it was, but I thought I was going to be doing something. And on that morning of the 1st of January 2019, everything changed, and I received guidance that I was to create what was then called New Earth Mystery School.
oh, okay.
And within 12 days, I don't know how, but within 12 days, there was 47 people who joined me on this six week journey, which was facilitated by Ascended Masters, basically. And that became then, there was 3 waves of that. It became wave 1, wave 2, and the third wave, which was basically the whole year of 2019. And we like 150 people, something like that, had went through it. And so much of the mystery school teaching, so many different modalities, like lifetimes, eons of stuff happened with so many people. So got towards the end of 2019, and I knew it was coming to an end. It was very intense. I became a father in that time. I was just so it was a very intense time, beautiful time. But so towards the end of 2019, then kind of took a different direction where it was going into more of the path of self-realization, surrender, and letting go. And that was for the first half of 2020. Yeah, a bit of 2019 and 2020. And then around the middle of this year, I was in the waiting mode, because I'm just like waiting, what's coming next. And then it took quite some time, to be honest, compared to overnight. But it takes a lifetime to have overnight experiences. This is what it just manifests in overnight, but it's all of the things that go with it. So then I received that. Yes, InnerVersity was what I was given. InnerVersity was the name, and this was moving on to the next level of, like, from school. You go from the mystery school teachings to InnerVersity, so it was higher level.
Right.
And I say higher level. I just mean a more expanded opportunity of discovering and remembering ourselves. I don't really like the words higher.
Like it was like high school, and then you went to college degree, and now you're doing post-grad work.
Absolutely. Higher. So it was named Higher Self InnerVersity. That was the full name. So yeah. So that was that came, and we did the first wave of that. So that happened. My God, linear now. I'm completely. But it was in the middle of this year we did that, and as part of that also there was an ongoing community. So that was a 6-week process again, and as part of that there's an ongoing community that was like a weekly thing that's ongoing. That's still going on, and I'm still waiting and for the next installment of InnerVersity, because I don't make these decisions. It's not like. And this is what I was telling. It was a challenge for me at time. I'm in waiting mode a lot of this time. Is I just get given it. One day it's not here, the next day it is. So that's sort of where I'm at now. But yeah, the Higher Self community, we do weekly Zoom calls, support. I'm a breath worker as well, so we do breath work. We do dance parties, and I'm a channel. Do light language, so many different things, and it's guided in the moment. So that is ongoing, the Higher Self community. And the InnerVersity, I assume maybe it was a one-off and it never happens again. I don't know, but it could be that way. I don't know. I never second guess anything.
I
So
doubt
maybe
it.
something else will come, but yeah, that's where we're at.
I want to make sure that everyone sees your URL, which is martinmcnicholl.com, and I
Yes,
will put it in the comments so that
thank you so much.
everyone can have it. But all of what we're talking about is available for more information, and you can see this is raw and real. If you are ready for someone who's going to be there right with you as you go through your process, Martin's your guy. And you can tell that that he is authentically expressing himself so that you can do it the same. I mean, that's one of your huge gifts, Martin,
Yeah.
is that you're holding space for everyone to be their divine self.
That's my biggest. That's like, you know, I told about all the highs and all of the stuff I did younger, trying to fill that gap with artificial. The biggest joy to me is seeing like a transformation. Especially, I just love underdog. I love unexpected someone. I just love watching people transform or coming into themselves or being afraid. Like in mystery school, there's so many authors, people put out programs, done so many different things since that. But at one time they were afraid to do a live video, and now they're doing it like regular, that sort of thing. That's
Yeah.
what really inspires me. It lights me up. It really lights me up. So yeah.
Well, they acknowledge their gift and they're not afraid of it. See, I think so much of this programming kept us victimized. Well, we had the victimized program running.
Yes.
And then you'll find a little piece of it here or a little piece of it there, and so how is COVID affecting you, and how you're seeing it? Are you finding it as a expansion possibility?
Yeah, for me, it's there's so many different. It just depends at what level of consciousness you look at what's going on. So there's so many different levels, from the completely fearful to the absolutely expansive. And for me, I'll be honest. The truth of me knows that this is the expansion of our consciousness. This is the only thing that would allow us to get quiet, to stay with ourselves, to see all of the challenges, to look at things that we were ignoring. But of course, personally as well, it's been challenging. Not so much, not in any way fear, not in any way. It's the limitation. There's a rebel inside of me, and being told what to do is just like the worst. Like that thing. This is on a personal level. Being told what to do and being told not what to, that sort of thing. That rebel. That's and some anger and a lot of that, and I seen the gifts of how that came up on personal experiences. But I truly know that this is an evolution of our consciousness, and it's the only way, because we got to such a state of like imbalance with the earth, with human culture, predominantly Western culture, but the whole world. And there was something, it had to be something on a global scale that leveled the playing field, that made everyone experience it. And again, you can talk about all the different levels within that, and the players and the props and the dramas, but I don't get involved. I become aware of all of those things, and I am aware of a lot of what we were talking about, and so many people can talk about it in different ways, but the broadest picture, and that's where I always like to begin with, and then you can go back into the illusion, is that it's an evolution of our consciousness. It's an opportunity for us to wake up. It's an opportunity for us to see clearly what we have co-created, and now we have an opportunity to use it as that. So
Dream a better dream.
yes,
Right.
absolutely,
Well, I
absolutely.
keep playing with the idea that we're all in our own hologram, and then when we're in community or we're in relationship, and we could talk about relationship too, it's almost like you agree to share the same hologram for a while.
Yeah,
And then just like us today, we already are sharing the same hologram in a lot of ways. But
absolutely.
yeah, but I think that's what a lot of this training wheels are, because the outside, the opportunity is to walk through this time period in stay in peace, or to find love and peace. And so you can see the chaos. It's like, no, I want your attention here. No, I want your attention there. I mean, it's almost like it's, hey, over here, this will bug you. Right? And then you sort of go, yes, if I go in it as my old human, yes. If I go in as an observer, I watch the reaction, and then I can clear that.
Absolutely.
Right.
And you mentioned it. Well, you mentioned something to me before we went live, and you mentioned a word that brought me to that as well.
Okay.
And it's one of the biggest influences on my journey in this short time has been Neil Donald Walsh and Conversations with God. And the book 4 that came out in 2017 was called Awaken the Species. And you said the word species, and it's like, I think this is the catalyst for the awakening of the species. This is like the awakening of the species, not individual pockets of Buddhas and yogis in the mountain and a few in your community here. This is literally the awakening of the species, and we are each called to that. What part do we play to awakening the species? Not just your individual challenges, which are very important. We shift collectively through our individuations, through our challenges in relationships, through the things that we go through. As we move through those, we create a template for the collective to move through those collectively. So this is a species evolution, I feel. So
that's right. And no one will be left behind. It's all perfect. That's the other part, has been really no judgment, only looking from the observer and choosing. And I think every day you get that opportunity. And the other thing that I'm finding, Martin, and I'd love to get your feedback on this, is I'm just watching people's language, and it's fascinating. I mean, people that are very magical and their language is still may have victimization in it. And is that what you're seeing with your coaching and your one-on-one? Because you do light language, and how do you help people rise above their conditioning, I guess is what it is.
Ikutura yama aisha sa tukura ba ikin naite ura kama aisha sa tukura yana akatia toa. I have to respond in light language because there's no words that can describe what this is, because it moves beyond that. But coming to our language, absolutely. That was a huge thing for me in my journey, and my wife's journey, was to be so careful with our language and be very conscious with our language. It's spelling is a spell, language, words, it's so powerful. And I know at times people thought I was very pedantic, and they would think, they would kind of make fun of that, but that's okay. But I truly feel that our language is so, so important, and it's been a very, very powerful journey for me. And I still slip at times. I still have some jokes, and I still have some Irish. I was doing a light language thing on the beach the other day. It was hilarious, and my and my camera dropped, and my Irish man jumped in there. But I have fun. I don't try and cover it up. But it is so very important, and I'm with you. Absolutely, I see that, and throughout all of this journey, I've seen how important language is, and how it's like people, because it's just the way it is, because it's just culture, because it's just funny, or because it's whatever, that it's kept going. And like you said, it's not if we wake up, it's not if we become free, it's when. And I feel the biggest for everyone, it's already done. But within the illusion, it's when. And I feel one of the biggest keys is our language and how we talk about it, how we express, because that's an expression of what we're thinking, and it's an expression of what we are being inside. It's outward expression, and what we bring outward into, if it's in sound, that's bringing it into instant manifestation in a different way, vibration. So very important.
Right. And that's where the co-creating with the universe is, I think, is that when you can express and speak your desire, whether it's light language or not,
Mm.
that there's this amazing potential of it grounding and landing here that we don't have. But I am noticing. So when somebody does have okay, I'm going to ask this again because I want to know. It wasn't just for the audience; it's for Kathy. Um, how when you how do you guide people to be more careful with their language then?
So for me, it would be a direct reflection generally, and it's very clear to me. Like for instance, with you, I just hear myself speaking. Every word that you say is like it's just like
Right,
everything just resonates. It just resonates.
right.
Whenever I hear someone will say something and it just I can see it. No, you're just reflecting everything that I believe. It's just like total resonance. But whenever someone will share something and I can see them as they are, and I am blessed with that, the ability to see that in others, not so much myself, but I really see that. And whenever I see that and their words don't align with that, it just completely becomes so clear and apparent to me. And what I do is I reflect it instantly back to them. So that's moment to moment ways we do it, like if it was in a group, a Zoom call or one-on-one, something like that, because it just feels discordant. It even moves my body at times. So it'd be directly reflecting back the language so that you can, because the eyes can't see themselves, we need feedback. That's why we're in this dual world. That's why we need it reflected back to ourselves. So that it's done in that way to reflect it. Myself and my wife, what we did was we did that. We just as soon as there's a word or a phrase that's out of alignment, we pick it, we just do it. We just tell each other, look, is this true? Or, so we did that, and we did it so often that it just became natural to us. So yeah, if you don't have someone to reflect back to you, what I really like to do and what is really powerful is writing with pen and paper, pencil and paper, old school.
Mm-hmm.
And let's say you're having a challenge with something and you're having certain thoughts, or you've said something, you don't know why you've got a response or a manifestation. Begin to write it down, and then that's getting the reflection. You're putting it into a manifestation in another way that can reflect back to you, where when you speak a word out loud and it goes to another person, it doesn't always, unless you watch it in a video or something like that, it doesn't always get that reflection. So being very conscious, being aware, but having someone or something like you can do on your own to reflect that back to yourself. Yeah. Instant.
So I do something similar. What I find is that I see the divinity in the other person, and I hold that up for them to see. Now, they may have to have training wheels, or it may take years. You have to really, it's all the divine process. It's not really, and I ask, is this mine to do? I actually, especially if it goes on longer.
Yeah. We get impatient. I know that all very well.
Yeah. But it isn't that it's just that my gift is supposed to bless these other people. It's not that my gift was just for me. I mean, and all the barriers to me showing up as my gift is a gift also. That's why you're so authentically sharing is so powerful. Thank you so much for sharing yourself. So how do you see the end of this year? I mean, we're still in, I know France is back on lockdown. I don't know if Portugal, where you are, is
I don't know either. I'm not joking. We are so far removed from stuff.
perfect.
And I mean, and I say this with like compassion and love for everyone. I do, because for me, like I told you, that rebel, that part of me, I I really need to be. For me to keep my vibration, to be able to do what I do, I have to have long periods where I am not in that vibration, because I've dipped in and out of there this year more so than any in the last 5 years. So I know it. So I don't like, I never go into the future. I never go any further than this
Oh, okay.
moment. But what I like to share is, like, especially today for people in the US, you know, we are, it's a monumental time, and every moment is monumental. And your vote is a vibrational vote. Wherever you are in the world, your vote is a vibrational vote every moment of every day of every year. And it doesn't matter what the outward manifestations are, you vote with your vibration. You are setting your intentions by what you focus on, how you use your words, who you spend time with, what you decide to do with your gifts or not, whether you decide to stay with old patterns or not. So everyone in every moment are the divine being that they are. We are already awake. We're dreaming that we're not. So this is an opportunity for this awakening of the species, for this evolution of consciousness, for the revolution of humanity. And that happens within the individual. Too many times, all of the focus is put on outward manifestations or outward individuals in the case of today. And again, every event is important. None's more important than another. Just because it's on the news, just because it's in the collective consciousness, doesn't mean that that's any more important than you sat in your bed, uncovering a part of yourself and elevating yourself to be the leader, to be the guide for your family, for your being. So I feel empowerment is what is key, because we have been disempowered by our own ignorance, by our own disempowerment, by allowing our power to be expressed outwards to a savior, to someone's going to do this for me, or whenever that happens, I can change. I always want to bring back people to the present moment and to the power and the divinity within yourself that is always present and isn't dependent on any other, but it can be a gift and a blessing for all others. So no matter the moment, no matter the date, no matter the day, no matter the circumstances, outwardly, inwardly, you have all the answers. Inwardly, you are the answer. But outwardly is the gift that you're here to bring and to serve others and to reflect that to others. So wherever you are, whatever is going on, know that you have gifts, you have a reason for being here. And it's important that you allow yourself to uncover that. And if you can't see it in yourself, which most people can, you want to get someone who reflects it to you, not someone who reflects the old you, not someone who keeps you stuck where you are, it keeps you where you have been. Where you're going is nothing to do with where you have been. Where you are is everything.
Perfect.
So yeah, that's
So
where I see every moment, every year.
that was beautiful. I'm going to have to listen to this interview again.
Me too.
You too. I get it. I get it. So what I was wondering is, when does the light language come in? Because that was part of my question when we talked about mirroring, is a way to get someone out of their present state could be to speak the answer or the reflection in light language, which would get their attention in another way. Plus, it's not confrontive. It's this soothing bath of frequencies that come out of you. Do you use that sometimes, or how do you use your light language?
So again, it's not real. It just appears at the moment. It's not really a conscious choice. It can be to some degree. It has gotten to the point where it just can come anytime. But is when you asked that question, and it involved light language, it was like something had to be conveyed that cannot be conveyed in language. And this is what light language is. It is a bridge to our higher consciousness. It's a bridge beyond linear logic. All of the languages on earth, beautiful and as eloquent as they are dividing. They are labels. They are misconstrued. They are misunderstood. They create divisions in so many ways. And light language is something that moves beyond that. It speaks to your heart. It's not it doesn't have a translation. Some people, they translate. For me, in my sharing the way I see it, which is just one perspective of infinite potential, is that there is not a definition, because definition leads to limitation. This is something that speaks to the higher aspect of ourselves, that bypasses your mind, bypasses labels, bypasses separation, and speaks directly to your soul, your spirit. It's our soul song. And this is a bridge before we move fully into, like my son is communicating now, into full telepathic communication. This is a bridge between our language that we use now and before we become fully telepathic beings, where language or sound is not needed in any way, which many advanced civilizations are. So this is the bridge. So that's where it comes in, and it's a gift, and it doesn't need translation, and it speaks every language and no language. And so it comes in just when it just arrives where it's needed and how it's needed. And I resisted it so strongly for a long time. Yeah, because I was doing the vocal channeling I resisted that for 3 years. Like, I didn't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I'm not doing it. And then eventually I couldn't stop it. I couldn't hold it back. It literally spoke through me. But then the light language came. I got activated in light language in 2015, but I didn't start actually sharing it. I think probably only around 20. I don't know if I was doing it before Mystery School. Maybe I was, maybe I wasn't, but around about that time. So it took a long time because I resisted it. But I do know experientially that everyone that does it activates other people. So whenever it's shared, it's activating something in those who hear, and they may not know why or how, or it could take 5 years, it could take 5 seconds. But it's something, it's not time, it's not in time, it's not linear. And it's a bridge between the language we use now and full telepathic open communication.
Exactly. And it's totally on the frequency of your senses, your feelings. It's not, that's why it's not, you're not here, you're here.
Yes.
So when you're here, it doesn't, I a lot of times say, I don't have words. I don't have words. And of course, I'm afraid I'm probably creating that too. But a lot of times these feelings are, to put words to them, they reduces what they are. That's beautiful. So I wanted to ask, do you ever sing with the light language? Because the reason why I'm asking is that I got to see this amazing woman who, her name's Natasha, and she's Arturian, but she's also Native American. And she played a clip at an event where there were 3 extraterrestrials singing, and she said, when we do show ourselves, we won't be speaking, and we certainly won't be speaking in English. We will be here in song. And I wondered, because I almost sensed song from you.
Yes. So, yes. And my human cannot sing. And this is a big frustration for me. It's not a frustration, but I used to be a DJ as well. So music is so strong on me. I love music, but I was never a singer. I never sang. So it's funny that you asked this. I get continuous song, like continuous. It's coming, but my outward human manifestation doesn't sing in key. And again, light language is not about that, but there's so many beautiful songs of light that maybe it will just come. Maybe it'll one day I'll just be able to happen. But yes, it comes a lot. And sometimes I let it flow, and it just comes, but mostly it's at home, just for myself or my wife and my son, because again, there's still a limitation there, a little bit of judgment of myself about that. But yes, so much song, so much melody, so much, and like overtones and these things. So if this physical vessel is supposed to do it, it will happen. But yes, there's so much music. And this week I found a technology. It's so funny you asked this. There is a technology that has been created now that may bring that to fruition quicker than I thought a
No, I
technology.
saw it. That's why I asked.
Yes,
Saw that you're gonna do that. So yeah, yeah, and that's part of this new thing you're bringing in. So
yes.
yeah,
And I love, and there's a few people I've seen on Facebook and a few people I've connected with who, vast majority that are women and beautiful voices and sharing like it's just
yeah.
magical, absolutely incredible. Yeah,
Well, I think there's so many people that are getting on Facebook Live. I mean, when you talked about the being able to transmit information from human to human, that's what I see the internet as
yeah,
training wheels to that. And then if as long as you're sensitive, if you can be sensitive with your own filters, I think that's what this period of chaos is how do you be sensitive to the right radio station
yeah,
to bring in the right dial it in and
yeah,
then you can find everyone else on that same frequency and
absolutely.
we're all finding each other. That's what's so cool.
Absolutely. The internet and social media are crystalline communities. They are creating crystalline communities that are not on the physical level, of course. These are crystalline communities. And the beings that are coming together, like interactions like this, like all of the other interactions, are actually interactions in these crystalline cities. These are cities of light. This is what the internet is, the outer manifestation of the internet. This is a crystalline in nature. This is the new earth that is existing simultaneously on top of what we call old earth. Everything is simultaneous. So gatherings, two or more, are these crystal city meetings, and the internet and social media are the facilitations of this. These are the first iterations of that, and they will become more advanced and they will become more apparent. But yes, this is the initial stages of these crystalline cities and crystalline communities that are existent now, and they are a frequency that you tune into. So it's important to follow the guidance and follow who you're being guided to connect with in what way. And when two or more are gathered in my name, there I am.
So perfect. And we this opportunity is for everyone to watch this again because I know I'm going to have to, so that or listen to it again, so that people can really get this opportunity to find your soul family, to
Yeah,
really be in of this world and not of this world. I wanted to add one other thing because I know you have community. I was able to participate in several things this year with Unity Earth. And one of the things they did was called a Caravan of Unity. And I had been on so many Zoom calls with these people. And then I finally got to meet them in person. And
yeah.
it was the love was the same. I mean, we really are transmitting at a high frequency using digital. This digital platform can hold so much information and so much love.
So
It's so cool. I mean, we're so lucky. This whole thing is set
that
up beautifully.
that outward manifest, that physical meeting that has been generated or
Uh-huh.
instigated by these crystalline digital technologies are literal physical manifestations of these crystalline communities, crystalline cities. As part of the New Earth Mystery School, we were guided to do that as well, and we got together. And like you said, these predominantly people that had never met and come from all over the world and came together in one space for this. And these are literal manifestations of this crystalline reality. So whenever it comes from that non-physical or digital and comes back into the physical, that's laid the template for that literal crystalline structure of the new earth. So
Yep.
very blessed to be part of it.
Yes, and that's why I'm saying that if you're connecting with others and you can connect your holograms, that produces something real. It is not your imagination. When they said 2 heads are better than 1, they weren't kidding. um, a lot of those sayings that are, we just take them as they're just little say, old wives' tales or whatever. And Jesus said, when 2 or more are gathered, we're seeing this right now, that the potential of humanity when we step into our God self and our soul and reconnect to that's why, Martin, I hope as many people as possible get a chance to go to your site and learn more about you and follow you here. Is there other ways that you would love for people to find you, so that we make sure there's a connection here?
Sure. I'm active on pretty much all the social media, but Facebook is by far the most active. I have hours and hours. You could spend a lifetime of stuff on there, Facebook. But I have YouTube channel because Facebook can be a challenge to find replays. So everything is streamed live. Everything I do is live. I try to do some recorded stuff, but like I shared with you, like it's momentary for me. Everything, like I can't do recorded. So it's live. So I stream live on Facebook, and it goes to YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. There's going to be another platform coming up soon. So yeah, YouTube, Facebook, the website probably hasn't been updated very much. So, but everything is there. But Facebook, I'm most active. Yeah.
Wonderful. Okay, so everyone, please do yourself a favor and get to know Martin. Get to know what he's offering, how he stands in his truth, how his standing in his truth is a model for you to stand in your truth. And that this is the time we came here for. There's so many beautiful opportunities. Each one of you is a blessed being. And if Martin can help you unwrap that present, please make it a point of listening to this again. Oh, Sandy's here too. So please, you guys, listen to this again. And if Martin is your guide, please connect with him either on Facebook or on his website, and do yourself a favor. This is really, thank you, Martin. You're such a beautiful being. Thank you
Thank you so much, Kathy. Thank you for the invitation. It's been a beautiful, beautiful experience. Thank you, everyone, for your comments and for joining. And it's been an absolute pleasure to, as I said, Kathy, it's like every word that you share is just so resonant and so aligned with I know now why we have 144 mutual friends on Facebook, which I just absolutely loved. That was like the first thing I seen was 144. I didn't even have to take a breath. I'm like, I just love that. I just love it. So yeah, thank you so much for having me on, and thank you for everything that you're sharing and bringing, and thank you for like laying the framework for us that came like you've been doing this a lot longer than I have, and I just want to thank you so much, because you've made it a whole lot easier on a lot of us. I know, because you didn't have a lot of this technology and what we had, so it's amazing. So thank you.
Yeah. Although I've been on. I was a beta tester of Zoom, so I've been on this a long time, and I knew I was here for this. So that's all. I don't always know what I'm supposed to do, but
I never do. That's the beauty of it.
Yes, it is. Well, anyway, we got to sign off now, but we'll do this again. Thank you so much. What a joy. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Namaste.
Namaste.